Hello, third grade math educators. This is your curriculum update for your first unit, that is Numeracy to 100,000 and addition subtraction. To access your curriculum documents, go to the Curriculum and Instruction Schoology group and select Resources on the left. Then choose Curriculum Documents, Elementary, third grade. Inside the mathematics folder, you'll notice an updated Google drawing that includes buttons to access the weekly scope and sequence, high priority learning standards resources, horizontal view of the curriculum, response to intervention materials, and standards-based report card resources. Now let's go back to the weekly scope and sequence. So if you click on this button for the weekly scope and sequence, it will bring you to the 21-22 scope and sequence. Now, very similar to last year, it's built as a weekly scope and sequence. And there's been some updates. That includes integration of the English language proficiency standards. So we can see in this first unit, there is a week to build classroom environment and relationships. As the content begins, the students will learn about composing and decomposing numbers, describing mathematical relationships within the base 10 system, representations on the number line, rounding, comparing, and ordering, then solving addition and subtraction problems, and telling time and counting money. Now these topics, these 6 topics, you'll see aligned in the Google Doc for our unit of study. So back to Schoology, across the bottom are buttons for the Google Documents of each unit. So if you click on Unit 1, it will bring you here. Similar to last year, we use Understanding by Design or backward planning to organize our curriculum. So for the first unit, it begins with Stage 1 or the desired results. What do we want the students to know, understand, and be able to do? I've worked this summer to clean up these documents a little, provide more clarity for you as an educator. I've updated this unit considerations section to parallel the topics in the weekly scope and sequence. So for each week in the scope and sequence, there's some information that I've written for you as an educator to help you in your preparation of learning design. Then when we get to Stage 2, that is evidence or assessment. How will the students show us they understand what it is that we want to teach them? And here's some examples, again aligned with those 6 topics of the weekly scope and sequence, of some assessment tasks. Below that, you'll see explanation of some prerequisite skills and understandings and pre-assessments that you can give to your students to determine what level of scaffolding they need in order to fully access this unit of study. Stage 3 is the learning plan, and here are the resources you'll consider using, and then the sample learning experiences. I've cleaned this up again and aligned them to the 6 topics of this weekly scope and sequence with some recommended resources to use. So let's go back to the topics. The first topic is about composing and decomposing numbers to 100,000. And I really love having the students focus on connecting decomposing to expanded notation. So one resource that I've put together for you is this keynote file on representing numbers and interpreting place value to 100,000. This is for the students, and you'll see that there's an example where they build a number and then they write it in expanded notation. So for this, it's interactive and they can drag the numbers, each 10,000 up to represent the number, and they can also change this number to anything they would like. After they compose and decompose, the students begin describing the mathematical relationships. And as they begin to help articulate or begin to articulate place value in the base 10 system, they need to connect that to exchanging, trading, or regrouping. So I've put together this simple keynote for you to guide some instruction about thinking about place value with some prompts like, how many times larger is 400 than 4 ones? How many tens are in 200? How many tens are in 1,200? How does the 5-digit compare in these two numbers? Or if the 3 in 21,236 was 10 times greater, what would the number be? The purpose of this is to lead some discussion and encourage thinking about the base 10 system. Then the students explore representing on the number line, and I really love clothesline math, and I encourage you to build a classroom clothesline like this and have the students interact with and move the numbers and contribute to the number line. When they begin rounding, comparing, and ordering, and especially comparing with these symbols less than, greater than, or equal to, I want you to remember that we don't want to teach them tricks. We want them to understand conceptually. I really love this video on introducing the comparison symbols because you can see how the height of the stack of the cubes is how we decide which direction the greater than or less than sign goes. Now, when the students begin solving addition and subtraction problems, we want to encourage them to utilize a variety of strategies on a developmental continuum. These links to videos are for you as an educator. You can share with your students all about how to use these different strategies. And you can see, for example, adding by place using expanded notation. This is what the videos are like, and they help you understand the difference between the different strategies. When the students are telling time and counting money, we want to be sure that they are using tools for that, like number lines and analog clocks. I linked performing math tasks so that it would draw your attention to this resource that we have. And I really like performing math for the reason of the support of the educators. You can see for this example, here is the performance task, and it automatically gives you as the educator some background, mathematically speaking, and possible solutions and things to look for. It also provides differentiation with a simplified task and enriching task for students that would be more appropriate to receive those. There's also a scaffolded task, and then opportunities for you to just grab that resource and set it up for them in Schoology or print it out for them. There's digital tools in Polypad with digital versions of base 10 blocks that are pretty useful, especially when we're talking about exchanging and trading. I've been working to make this Google document more accessible, cleaner, and clearer for you as the educator in order to design and implement this weekly scope and sequence, and I hope that it's very helpful for you.